Hey, good morning and welcome to Money Puzzles Live. We are a show designed to help put all the pieces of your retirement puzzle together in one easy to see picture. My name is Chris Maxey, and with me, my co host, Mr. Sean Clark. Sean, how are you?
Good. Good morning, Chris. Yeah, when people come to our office, oftentimes, when they enter retirement, they have all these different buckets. And what I mean by buckets is different retirement income vehicles, whether that's Social Security or a pension, or all different kinds of IRA, 401k. And when they get into retirement, oftentimes the question is, which one of those pieces do we want to draw from first? Those are all pieces of the puzzle. But when we ask them, hey, tell us about your retirement plan, we want to know about the picture on the box. And so what often people tell us is, yeah, I have this piece or this piece, but we want to know about the plan. How are you going to bring all those pieces together to create an income stream like you had in your working years?
Yeah, that's definitely right. Your working years and your retirement years are consistently different. So when we have our clients come in, they often say, "Well, Chris, I have a 401k. Hey, Sean, I have an IRA. I have these different things, but you've invested in those your whole life. But how do you get that money out, and when and which one do you pick first?" So the big piece is. We're putting all those pieces together is the essential a part to make sure that your retirement is going to be successful. So today's programming, we're going to speak and we're going to talk about client service. When is the last time that your advisor called you? How often do you speak to your advisor?
How often do you need to speak to your advisor? I think that's a really important
Yeah,
question as
that's the
well.
question.
So when we look at this question, and we just had a couple come into our office. We were talking to them, and they decided we built them a comprehensive retirement plan. They liked what they saw. It was the first time they saw all of their retirement pieces together in one comprehensive picture. And what they had told us was that they haven't spoken to their advisor since they invested the money. It's
Yikes.
just fascinating to me that somebody can, essentially, this individual was handling all of their net worth and hadn't called them
For
in,
years.
yeah, a couple of years, and they were very disgusted by that, and wanted a few more phone calls.
Well, that's not an advisor. That's someone who is selling them something and going on to the next person. When you have an advisor in your life, when things change, you talk to them. When you have an advisor in your life, you're looking to them for some guidance and some solutions and some problem solving. If the only time that they talk to them was when they set up an account, there's not much advice happening there.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, think about a mentor or a guide. If you're out on a hike somewhere and you lose your guide, you're in trouble. And that's what we provide to our clients at Brookstone Financial is just that guidance, that financial guidance. And we feel that that a financial advisor should be talking to their clients no less than every quarter. Once a quarter is about the right time to talk to your advisor. Once every quarter.
Yeah, yeah, I think that once a quarter is so important because really what you focus on, where your priorities are, is where your plans are, is where you will win. If you don't have any plans, if you don't have any guidance, if you don't have any, if you don't speak to your advisor, then how do you know what's going on and how do you have a plan for the future?
Exactly. So, and I think there's a big difference. I think a lot of people who are managing their own accounts and that sort of thing, and they say, hey, I have an advisor. Well, when they call the 800 number to Fidelity or Raymond James or Charles Schwab or TD Ameritrade, yeah, you have a quote financial advisor, someone who is licensed that will give you essentially some advice, but they don't know the intimate details of your plan or what's going on in your life or what your kids' names are or what you like to do or what your goals or dreams or aspirations are.
Yeah, definitely. There's no conversation about what you want from retirement and what you want that to look like. They can see the specific account there, let's say it's an IRA, they can say, well, you have RMDs coming out at this time. They can give you guidance on that piece of the puzzle, but they don't know what your Social Security is. They don't know if you have other accounts at other places. So they don't see the whole picture. And that's where having an advisor like what we do is we see all the different pieces of the puzzle. And again, we help people put it together to make sure that you're getting the most out of it.
Well, we just had another couple that, we're talking about required minimum distributions. When you turn now with the new Secure Act, it's this required minimum distribution age has been moved back to 72. Well, we had a couple that turned on an annuity payment, and that annuity payment was paying almost all of their RMD. Yeah. However, when they called Fidelity, they had another account at Fidelity. Fidelity told them, no, you have to take out this RMD for this account. And so they end up paying way more in taxes than was necessary, primarily because that financial advisor at Fidelity didn't know about the annuity.
Yeah, they thought they were doing their job right, and they say, oh, this is an IRA, you have X amount of your RMD. Well, they took way too much out and had to pay more in taxes because of that. We said, hey, no, that's not the case. Let's put all these together and figure out what you have to pay overall.
Well, I think a lot of people think that if they're working with one advisor, that they may not be diversified. And if you're working with the right advisor who's an independent and can do insurance, brokerage, and is a fiduciary, essentially he or she can do any and all types of investments. So you can be diversified across different financial solutions in the market, outside of the market, with insurance and everything, and have one person who sees the entire picture and is working as your financial advisor and your guide. I think that's really important. And not only is that really important, but it also is important that they give you a call once in a while.
Oh, absolutely. Well, hey, break that down for our listeners, the independent side of things. What would make someone independent versus not?
Yeah, so there's a lot of advisors that are captive to TD Ameritrade, to Fidelity, to Raymond James. And so with a big, huge company like Raymond James, they're only going to allow certain financial products. And some of that is a good thing. They're making sure their advisors aren't selling these wild, crazy investments. However, it's interesting to think that there may be some things out there that are available that Raymond James, Fidelity, TD Ameritrade, these big brokerage firms won't allow on their platform. And maybe those aren't bad financial solutions, but and then there's a lot of politics that, as you can imagine, that go into what is allowed and what isn't. And so an independent is not someone who is captive, meaning that if you and I worked for Raymond James, we would have to follow the Raymond James guidelines and rules, and we would be not handcuffed isn't the right word, but a little bit handcuffed in what we can offer our clients.
Well, so everybody has car insurance, right? Or everybody should have car insurance. If you're listening to us right now driving to work, I hope that you have that. That's a requirement. So if you call, what are some different car insurance companies?
Geico.
Progressive, they're going to sell you Progressive insurance, right? If you go to an independent person who works with multiple auto insurance carriers, they're going to search through all of them to find you what the best rate is and to find you, what fits you the best with your car insurance. Same type solution with an independent advisor.
You always say if you go to a Ford dealer and ask which one's the best truck, they're going to tell you a Ford, no doubt.
Yeah.
But if you go to an independent and say, hey, which one's the best truck? If they sell Dodge, Ford, Chevrolet, that new GMC Sierra with that really cool tailgate.
So cool.
They're going to give you an honest advice. And that's the difference in working independent and captive. So obviously really, really important. So as we go back to that question of service, we're talking about,
So what is a quarterly The question is, what does a quarterly conversation look like with your advisor? And we're going to get into that after the break.
Yeah. So listen, if your advisor hasn't called you in over 3 months and over half a year and over a year, certainly, listen, give us a call, 813-502-1228.
Hey, come check us out tonight. We're having a live event at Oldsmar Public Library at 6:30, where we're talking about taxes in retirement. That's at Oldsmar Public Library tonight at 6:30 p.m.
You can register by calling 813-502-1228. We'll be right back after this. Hey, Pat, we have a terrible echo in our ears. It is awful. It didn't start until our show started. Obviously, you can't hear us, but it's still echoing so bad. Check 1 2, check 1 2, check. Check 1 2.
Talk. I can't hear. Here, turn that, whatever.
Hello? Check. Well,
we can't hear anything.
Now we can't hear anything. That's better. Yeah, that's better.
Okay.
Thanks, Pat.
Can you hear me though in yours? I can't hear you.
Yeah. Can you hear me now? No.
Better.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that was paralyzing.
It wasn't good. Hello and welcome back to Money Puzzles Live. The question that we had was, how often should you be talking to your advisor? And if the only time you're getting a call from your advisor is when they want to sell you something, that's not a good sign.
No, probably not a good sign. And I hear that all the time. I'm like, hey, when's the last time you talked to your advisor? Well, he was here the other day, he had a new annuity. Well, that's probably not the best sign. So at Brookstone, we have a service, what's called a workflow in place, where we are prompted to call our clients every quarter. And here's why that's so important. I mean, life is always changing.
Mm-hmm.
Life is always changing. There's unexpected expenses. Your employment changes. Maybe you have a child going to college. There could be sickness, or, I mean, those are kind of all the bad things, but there can also be good things. Maybe you received an inheritance, or you got a raise at work, or now you have this increased income. And, instead of just saying, oh, I have more money, I should spend it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a good idea to talk to a guide.
Yeah, we live in a dynamic world where situations are continually changing. Day over day, things are happening that weren't happening 2 days ago, or weren't happening a month or a year ago. So what should your quarterly conversations look like with your advisor?
Yeah, so our quarterly conversations typically go like this. Hey, how's it going? What's new? Catch up.
And a lot of times people don't have time to come into the office, so they like a phone call. So we're calling them and having these conversations.
Absolutely. And a lot of our clients are friends as well. I mean, we work with them. We call them every quarter. We spend some time with them in the office. They actually become friends. So it's, hey, tell me about that vacation. Oh, you just had a grandchild.
Mm-hmm.
How's everything going? Can you send me a picture?
Yeah.
That sort of thing. So we catch up on life a little bit. And then the next thing is just updating them on their accounts. Hey, market's up, market's down. Right now, we know that the market is down, largely due to the coronavirus. And we update them on the current market conditions.
The current market conditions, and then whatever questions they might have on their accounts, right? So they have different accounts that are allocated in different ways. So let's update you on what's going on with those specific accounts as well.
One of the biggest things for our clients at Brookstone Financial is that we want our clients to know how their money's working for them.
Yeah, you've worked hard your entire life to get where you're at. You've saved, you've gone without, you've done well putting some of that money aside. You should know how your money is working for you, and you should have someone letting you know and helping educate you and making sure that you're on the same page as your advisor and with your money.
Yeah, oftentimes when we sit down and talk to people and say, hey, why did you get this annuity? Well, what's the purpose of that? Well, I don't know. I just thought it sounded like a good idea when my advisor presented it. And that's something that's very important to us, is that we want all of our clients to know how their money is working and what the purpose of each account is for.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. And in fact, annuities can be a great thing, and annuities can be a terrible thing. So that's why we're actually writing a book right now on annuities, the good, the bad, and the ugly, how they work for you in your retirement plan, or how they don't work for you. That's something that's really important to know what all of your investments are doing for you and what their goals are, just like you have goals for your retirement and for your life. So, that's a quarterly conversation. What does an annual review usually look like?
And typically an annual review we like to do in person.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to bring clients into the office. If that's not in person, at the very least, we're going to do a screen share where we cast our screen onto their computer screen, mm-hmm. so that they can see and review the actual plan. Are we still on track to hit your goals in retirement? And so we do a full review, looking at not only all the investments, how have they performed in the market, but also we look at the plan and how those investments are impacting the plan. Do we need to save more? Are we ahead of schedule? We review the whole plan, make sure they're still on track. So at least once a year, our clients have a comprehensive view of what their retirement plan is going to look like. And what that helps is, the market's down right now. Mm-hmm. And the knee-jerk decision for a lot of people is to sell. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm losing money. I lost $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 today in the market. I should sell those investments. In reality, that's probably one of the worst things you could do. And so what a plan does, and when you are tracking a plan, when you see how the market conditions affect your overall comprehensive plan, a lot of times it might, if the market drops 10%, it might only change your plan by 1 or 2% overall.
Yeah, your probability of success, your ability to meet what your overall retirement goals are. They might be down a little bit, but over the long term, you're generally going to be okay. And that's where, in these yearly reviews, oftentimes we'll have people come in for their first review, and they just say, Chris, Sean, man, it's kind of a weight lifted off your shoulders, because you're not just seeing what the media continues to just throw in your face, broadcast day after day, impending doom, right? Where you can see, okay, maybe there's an issue right now, but over the long term, I'm going to be okay.
I think that's the biggest thing, that word okay. I think people just want to be financially secure.
And if you don't feel okay, if you feel like there's impending doom and you're not sure what's going to happen with your financial future, go ahead and give us a call at 813-502-1228. Again, that's 813-502-1228, or check us out online at brookstonefinancial.com. That's brookstonefinancial.com.
Also, tonight we have that live event at Oldsmar Public Library. That's tonight at 6:30. If you'd like to RSVP for that, you can visit, click on go to brookstonefinancial.com and click on events, and you can RSVP for that event tonight. Also, as we're talking about, why it's so important to check in, another thing that's important, it's tax season. It's tax time. And you have until April 15th to make either those Roth or IRA contributions for last year. Mm-hmm. And as we're talking about Roth, on this show, we talk a lot about Roth conversions. Is it time to convert to Roth? Well, the best time to convert to Roth is when taxes are on sale. We've talked about that, and we feel that tax rates are lower now than they could be in the future. We don't know what's going to happen with tax rates, but we know that with the large national debt, they're likely to go back up.
And with this new tax law, we know that this bill was in place until 2025. That's when this is set to expire.
Correct. So another good time to do a Roth conversion, if you're planning on doing a Roth conversion each year, the best time to do a Roth conversion is when the market drops, mm-hmm. because essentially you're converting that money to Roth when the market is down. And so essentially you're only going to pay tax on that money you convert. But if the stock is down, then you convert to Roth when the market's down. And then as that money, when the market starts to change and come back, that money is growing tax free. And so essentially
Yes.
you paid less tax on that money. So that's why a quarterly phone call is so important.
Yeah, and that's why I wouldn't go out there after you hear this and go do this yourself.
No.
It is not a prescription to do that, but it is absolutely worth a conversation. And that's something we're looking at your whole financial picture is something that is really important to make sure that if you are doing it, you're doing the appropriate amount at the appropriate time.
And I think that talking once a quarter is enough. Some clients want more contact, and we can certainly do that. But if you're the kind of person that checks your finances and checks the market every single day, that can be a bit of a roller coaster, and that can cause some anxiety. Oh, I made $500 today. Oh, I made $1,000 a day. Oh, I lost $1,000 a day. I lost $2,000 a day. The market is always going up and down. So if you check that daily, a lot of times that will tempt you to get into, well, maybe I should sell today, and then I'll buy tomorrow and sell today. And what we've shown you over the last few shows is that day trading is probably statistically a very bad idea. It's like gambling.
Yeah, yes, it could be a potentially harmful thing for you, for your health, and for your relationships with your family. If you're the kind of person who checks daily and has to jump in and jump out of things, because to be honest with you, yes, your finances are incredibly important, but also time with your family, your friends, and not letting the the naysayers or the people crying wolf, or the people saying the world is falling all the time. That's where you could run into trouble if you just watch this stuff on a daily basis and and feel like you must react.
Exactly. So we feel like that quarterly phone call, that's going to give you a snapshot of the market to see if it's on its way up or it's on its way down. And that's going to help us provide advice, give a market update, and just catch up. I mean, like we said before, a lot can change in 3 months in people's lives. I mean, the world is always changing. And my goodness, for our clients, where we feel that, we have a very important role in their lives, that we want to know what's going on in their lives, what's important to them, and how is that changing on an annual and quarterly basis.
It's an important thing, and it's one of the important relationships of your life. Obviously you got to take care of your family, you got to take care of your relationships at work, your relationships at church, or wherever you have these great relationships, but you also got to take care of your finances, and you got to make sure you're having those conversations that can be difficult, but also we like the pleasant conversations as well.
Yeah, anything can happen, and like we talked about, like we had unexpected expenses and employment changes and all these expenses that can be happening that you need to be aware of. What is a way that a financial advisor can help you and be that guide to listen. If your advisor hasn't called you, is not calling you on a regular basis, hey, give us a call. We call our clients every quarter. Our number at the office is 813-502-1228. Again, that's 813-502-1228.
Come check us out tonight at our live event at Oldmar Public Library. We're going to be talking about taxes in retirement. That's going to be tonight at 6:30. Feel free to give us a call at 813-502-1228, or check us out online at brookstonefinancial.com and click on our events page and go ahead and RSVP. We look forward to seeing you, and hey, we'll talk with you next week on Thursday at 8 a.m. Have a great one.